Hello and welcome everybody. This is your host Learbach, and you're just in time for a new Let's Play. What are we playing this time? None other than Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Real quick aside here before we get started. In order to get this working, I'm playing this on the PS3 version, the PS3 HD re-release. I'm not playing it on PlayStation now simply because you can't download it. So if there's a problem with the internet, there are other unforeseen incidences. So yeah, but in order to get this to work on PS3, I had to get an HDMI splitter that was capable of bypassing the built-in HD copy protection put into the PS3. So yeah, it's a bit of finagling to get it to work, but hopefully it'll be worth it. So yeah, this is a word of advice for those of you who want to play PS3 games, or stream PS3 games, or let's play them, or just capture footage. You might need to get an HDMI splitter or something that can bypass the copy protection built into it. All the other consoles, you can just simply turn it off, and worst case scenario, you can't get on Netflix anymore. Boo-hoo, I have Chromecast for that. I don't care. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and start the game.
Sly! Come in! Sly! Do you read me?
Yeah, I read you. Loud and very loud.
Sorry, I'm a little nervous. Trying to break into police headquarters does that.
Get over it, Bentley. You're safe in the van. I'm the thief here. I've got to steal that file from Inspector Carmelita Fox.
Well, count on me to be your eyes and ears, buddy. Got their security system totally scoped. To get inside, you're gonna have to go through that air vent.
All right, I'm going in.
And don't forget you got me at the wheel, Sly. All you gotta do is grab the file and get back to the van. We'll do the rest.
Just keep that engine running, Murray. I'll be down in no time.
Okay, so we have the beginning of the game. Real quick, I want to go ahead and mention, if you're starting fresh, no files whatsoever on your game, you'll immediately start up here without any beta or anything. Just want to mention that. But due to problems with the recording software,
Hey, Bentley, I think I'm
No.
seeing things. Must be vertigo.
yeah,
or
I guess
something.
technically the recording
You see those
software had the
crazy
problem. I
lights?
know.
Really? I've read about this. Master Raccoon thieves are able to send
Is either the
thieving
problem with
opportunities
the
which
way the
manifest
recording software
themselves
works, the
as
way the
unexplainable
PlayStation
blue
decides
auras.
to load information?
According to my
via
research,
HDMI,
all you have
it's
to
weird.
do is get near them and hold down the circle
Let's
button.
put it this way, I had an hour of
and
footage
perform a
that
super sneaky master
was-
thief move.
Hold down the circle button.
That was somehow stretched to
I'm
2
on.
hours and literally unusable. Seriously, it was messed up with how bad it was. I'm still not sure why I did that, but I found a workaround and hopefully you'll be seeing. But yeah, so right here, Bentley, one of our allies, was telling us how to use the circle button on a number of these little sparkly areas to do thief moves. Because, as I forgot to mention in this game, we play as Sly Cooper, a raccoon who is a thief. And with his friends Bentley, the brains, and Murray, the brawn, we steal from the baddies. Because it's not fun stealing from good people, it's only fun from stealing bad people. So yeah, what I didn't let Bentley finish staying there, that little fire hydrant looking thing that we just destroyed will destroy any of the lasers in the area, making it easier for us to go back and forth through those areas. If you touch the yellow line, the yellow tripwire lines, or yellow searchlights, they turn red, and if you hit them again when they're red, then you take damage. And in this game, one hit, you're dead. Unless you get a horseshoe. There's two ways you can get a horseshoe. You can find one on the field just naturally, hidden away, or you can collect 100 coins and it'll give you a horseshoe. You can have two horseshoes, so essentially you can have 2 extra hits.
Way to go, Sly! This is where Inspector Carmelita Fox stashes all her important files. I hacked into the police security mainframe and discovered this vault's combo. Try dialing in 937.
So moving around with the safe, you move left and right. On the joystick, you move from dial to dial, up and down, changes the number on that dial.
Nice job! You got it! If you come down through the fire escape and head through the parking lot, we'll be waiting in the getaway van.
So one of the good things about this game is it's got a lot of voice acting, which means I don't have to talk as much. So, yay! You don't have to hear my disgusting, horrible, sickly voice. Which is weird because I'm not actually sick right now. I just naturally sound this way.
Ah, Carmelita.
So the natural repulsion you're feeling isn't like, you know, radiation or gamma rays or whatever. It's actually my
give it to you
voice.
as a little token of my. Hey, you know, that bazooka really brings out the color.
Self-deprecating humor, ladies and gentlemen. It's
This pistol packs a
it's the only thing I have. So please
might
laugh.
snap you out of your crime spree.
Little rendezvous.
Laugh with me, not at me. I'm just asking.
Love to stick around and chat, but I just dropped by to pick up this case file. I think you've had it long enough.
So yeah, there we have Inspector Carmelita Fox, who I'm almost certain, and I'm not I can't prove this, but I'm almost certain she's a play on named Carmen Sandiego, in a way. The only reason I have that is because they both start with C and they both have an M in them, and I've also been watching the new Carmen Sandiego a lot on Netflix. Speaking of shows with a good guy thief premise, that is a really good show. Like the new one, very different from the original show and the computer games I had as a kid. I didn't have games. I played them on.
I had given Inspector Carmelita Fox the slip. I was surprised
That's
to see
cool.
how well she took it. Finally, the secret police file I'd been searching for all these years. With this, I could avenge my family and regain possession of our most valued treasure. It all began when I was just a kid, bouncing on my father's knee. You see, I come from a long line of master thieves who kept all their secrets of sneaking and stealing in an ancient book. The Thievius Raccoonus. Anyone who read it learned to be especially sneaky, which is why we specialize in stealing from criminals. After all, there's no honor, no challenge, no fun stealing from ordinary people. You rip off a master criminal, and you know you're a master thief. Well, on the night I was supposed to inherit the book, 5 visitors came unannounced to our door. My father fought to protect us, but the gang of villains known as the Fiendish Five overpowered him and ransacked our house until they found the Thievius Raccoonus. Our family's manual of thieving greatness fell into their filthy hands. They tore the book into 5 pieces and split it up, each villain disappearing to the farthest corners of the world to commit dastardly crimes. Broken alone, I was dumped at the town orphanage. There I met 2 guys who became my lifelong buddies and trusted crew. Bentley, techno genius and strategist supreme, and Murray, part-time driver and full-time burden. Together we pledged to track down the Fiendish Five, avenge my father, and steal back the Thievius Raccoonus. I knew I was about to face the toughest test of my life. On this mission, I would either become a master thief like my ancestors before me, or fail and allow my family name to bite the dust.
So yeah, there's the full backstory to the game. Sly Cooper is an orphan.
That was a
He's
nice
still
piece
his
of work back there at
book
police
at Thievius
headquarters,
Raccoonus.
Sly. Come see me if you want to check out any of your old movies. I've got them all here on my computer. Use the left analog stick to move around the hideout and the X button to select things.
So yeah, we can talk to Bentley to see the cutscenes. Right now we only have the one. I believe if you get everything in the game, you actually get like a developer behind the scenes thing. I don't know. I only 100% this game once. But yeah. So as you notice, the in between cutscenes don't have any dialogue in them. Also, we can go ahead and kind of get a glimpse of the next area. Though Murray's in the way.
Oh, you won. One.
That's
I'm
the
already
opposite
plotted a
of
route to our first target.
So yeah. We're going to head to our first target.
road trip gave me the time I needed to study up on Sir Raleigh the Frog. As a young man, this hot-tempered frog grew bored of his life of luxury and privilege. On a whim, he tried his hand at a bit of piracy and found it to his liking. Raleigh, who quickly became addicted to crime, was brought into the Fiendish Five as chief machinist, where his evil tinkering genius rose to new heights. The last reported sighting of this mad machinist was off the soggy coast of the Isle of Wrath, a small island uncomfortably situated in the middle of the perilous Welsh Triangle.
So yeah, here we have Sly Cooper in Tide of Terror. So one thing I really like about this game is they wanted to give it a very Saturday morning cartoon feel. And I think they succeeded both with the art style and the presentation. You definitely get this kind of with the comic book vignette sort of cutscenes. You get this kind of very much a Saturday morning cartoon feel, especially with the intros. Like every chapter, every boss, every hub world has their own introduction. Very cool.
The mission. See that nasty looking gate? It blocks the only road leading into Raleigh's hideout.
No problem. I'll just use my climb move.
Okay, but remember, you can only climb on certain objects, like pipes and ropes.
Yeah, sure, and like that ladder there?
That is correct, but do not forget, Sly. You have to get close.
Then hit the circle button to grab it. Yeah. Relax, Bentley. I live for this stuff.
Yeah, and that's what worries me.
So yeah, as you notice, this is a game that's not afraid to make sure I'm not missing anything real quick. So I won't plan on 100% in the game, I do plan on at least getting as much as I can. Yeah. So this is a game that's very not afraid to tell the players, hey, hit the circle button, hit the X button, hit the triangle button. So yeah, right here we have these clue bottles.
Now this is very interesting. The message you just found appears to be some sort of clue. I'll decipher it here in the van. In the meantime, see if you can find any more clues. The more I have, the easier it'll be to crack the code.
So yeah, there's a certain number of clue bottles in every level. If you collect them all in a certain level, then you can get a special page. You can recover one of the pages from Thievius Raccoonus that's hidden in a safe at the end of every level. If you want the enemy we just fought was like a close range enemy. They typically don't serve too much respect. There are a few different types of enemies. Right now, on top of my head, there's 3 types of enemies that cross my mind. There's the guy that we just fought right now. Later on, we'll be fighting some flamethrower guys and other guys that will throw stuff at us. The flamethrower guys are dealt pretty much the same way as the hammer guys we just defeated. You just have to be a little bit. You have to be a little bit more sneaky with how you get around them. You can't go head on to them in the middle of their attack like you can with the hammer guy. You gotta go a little bit behind them. You kind of circle around them a little bit more. They're more or less the same. And then you got the starfish guy over there. The guy that throws stuff. Which we'll get into that guy in just a second. It basically just amounts to dodge his moves and
Hold on, Sly. See those searchlights? One careless
we've already
step
talked about the
and you'll
searchlights.
be subjected to acute combustion.
You done whining? Let's go.
I'm just trying to keep you alive, partner. Fortunately for you, I launched these signal repeaters throughout Raleigh's fortress. Get close to one, and I can checkpoint your progress.
Nice.
So that means if you get to that area and you die, you go back to that area. So yeah. So these are the shortcuts I was talking about. Not for the thing. I'm just gonna trip them real quick. I'm gonna trip, there we go. Until they turn red. Now if we hit the red, now we're gonna be in the acute combustion. Fortunately, we destroyed that alarm. and so, and you don't have to worry about the search items. Now I mentioned hub worlds earlier, and I should go ahead and mention at the beginning of every chapter you go through a kind of entry level before you go into the main hub, where you get like 3 level selection and such. Isn't it kind of like how Mega Man X does it? Where you have like the introduction, the first level, and then you have the boss select.
You're right, Sly. That is a store machine. It's the reason
And once you
why
get through all the
it never
levels, you
stops
get to fight the
raining
actual boss
explains all
level.
the
Kind of
red
like that.
But why would Raleigh want back
Kind of that in
at his
concept.
own hideout 24/7?
Beats me. But rain or shine, I'm gonna steal my family's book back. And if Raleigh gets in my way, it's on.
Yeah, here's the flamethrower guy that I was talking about. Like I said, it's much the same as the hammer guy. It's not too much of a difference. It's basically just the end variant. I think we've got another code bottles at this point. Most of the levels in this game are pretty linear, so it's not too hard to get everything.
Nice job so far, Sly. To get over the next gate, you'll need to grab onto this hook using your cane. Just jump and hit the circle button.
Got it. Jump and hit the circle button to grab onto hooks.
So yeah, you're probably noticing a trend here. You're hitting the circle button a lot for action. It's actually a lot more intuitive than it seems. Like, considering how little used the circle button is in most games at the time, or was in most games at the time. I mean, it doesn't make sense that you use like an action, like a context-sensitive action. So yeah, so you have the jump, you have the attack, and then you have triangle for your special, and the circle for your interactions. Nowadays it can change a little bit. Sometimes the same button for attack is also interact, which can be really frustrating, especially when you're playing a game like River City Girls, and you're trying to punch people, and instead you keep going into the shop because you're just a little too close to the shop door. Or worse yet, because at least then you can kind of correct the problem. Or worse yet, you hit the button and you go into the next area, thus resetting that room you were just in.
That large vault has got to be somehow related to those clues in bottles you've been collecting. If you can locate all the clues in this area, I should be able to crack the code and get you inside it.
These, the last two should be over in this lighthouse. Yep. So yeah, he was referring to that vault that I completely actually
You
missed.
found it, Sly. That's the final clue to crack the code. Now find that vault and I'll
There we go.
press the circle to enter the vault code. The clues have led me to believe that the code for this vault is 792.
One thing, if you're having a little bit of trouble doing this with the joystick, you can also use the D-pad if it's a little easier. I find it a little easier to use the D-pad.
Sly, you found a page from the Thievius Raccoonus. This page teaches old Drake Cooper's fast attack dive move. Press the triangle button to use it.
Remember how I was talking about special moves? There you go. It was actually a really easy one to use. It's a triangle. There you go. One thing I want to mention. There are two types of Thievius Raccoonus pages that we'll be finding. There's the ones that are tied to bosses, which are story-based ones, and there's the ones that we find on the field. The ones we find in the field we obtain in subsequent order. Meaning, if this was the first vault we opened, we got the dive move. No matter what the first vault is, we open, we're always going to get the dive move first. We're always going to get them in the order that they are intended to be. So, the 13th page will always be from the 13th vault we open. Now, if you get every page that you can along the way, you can get yourself, I think, a little bit ahead in some areas. Or it's like you won't be able to learn what's on the page until you learn the story move. But it's usually not that long. It's usually not that far until you learn that move anyway. I think that's how it is. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. Like I said, it's been a while. I only 100% the game once.
That blimp looks like the most
I think
secure
I was like-
location on this boat.
I was in like
Raleigh's really
9th
as smart as
grade.
his police
I was
files
probably
suggest,
15,
and that's where I'll find him.
14, 15 years
Wonderful
old at the
idea,
time.
but your plan is flawed.
Why?
Because it's impossible to get near him. To access Raleigh's blimp,
Oh, and
you would
now
have
we're in
to
the hub
sneak
world.
through
It should
that
be a
high
chance.
voltage power tube. To do that without getting electrocuted, you'd have to destroy that power generator. And to do that, you need 2 more of Raleigh's treasure keys, which are heavily guarded.
Interesting. So when are you gonna get to the impossible part?
Fine, but I warned you. I marked the areas
I
you
love
need to
Sly.
hit with holographic markers.
And all the characters in this
Follow
game
them
just
to your
did better
objectives.
as the game
Don't
progressed.
mention it. It's your
Like by the
funeral.
3rd game, they're like all amazing characters. Like, but yeah, I can't speak for the 4th game. I never played it. I didn't own a PS3 at the time.
Wow, you found a lucky charm. That'll protect you when you take any damage.
Yeah, we're talking about the horseshoes. That's one of the horseshoes I was talking about earlier. Like I said, you can find them on the field, or you can pick up 100 coins and get one. One guard, that guard right there, should have mentioned before I hit him. That's a patrolman. So he'll start chasing you. I think they start firing like a homing shot at you if they get a chance. Unavoidable most of the time. If you're behind something when they fire, you can kind of get lucky, but yeah. Actually, no, there's one up there. I'm gonna see if I can get up there and trick him. We don't have a whole lot. It's really one time. Yeah. Go this way, Logan. Yeah, we'll go this way. See another horseshoe in that window.
Hey, Sly, you can adjust the game camera using the right analog stick. And to bring the camera behind you, click it.
I love how he's telling us this now, after we probably figure out how to use it. So if I can trick this guy up right there, so right there he was spat at us, that normally would have been unavoidable, but since we were lucky enough to be behind something, it kind of protected us a little bit. So now we have an option. We can't access every level in this area yet. We gotta beat at least 2 other levels. So now we have an option. We got 4 levels we can choose from. We got that one over there in the tower. We got that one down there, one up here, and then that one that we just looked at. I think we're gonna do this. You know, go ahead and do this one. This one kind of seems like it's the longest one to get to, so go ahead and get it out of the way. Because once we leave the hub, when we return to the hub, it'll be full of baddies again. So yeah, one thing, if you're gonna go for all the code bottles, be pretty extensive when we're looking and destroying as much as you can.
Raleigh appears to have booby-trapped this entire place.
I'm gonna enjoy this.
Don't you get
You never
it,
know
Sly?
when a code
If you
bottle
step
will
on that
be
rug,
behind something.
forget about becoming a master thief. You'll be a master dartboard.
Wait a second. What if I jumped into that barrel for protection?
I don't know. It looks pretty risky and very unsanitary.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah. Once you get everything up, press circle to enter the game. Once you get on the other side of the book, of the book. Actually, you don't have to press up, you just jump into it. And once you destroy those things, you can walk on the carpet. Yeah, you just have to jump into that. It's just going to be a little challenging to go and throw into it. There we go. I believe if you want to speedrun this, it's actually... Nope. Okay, I was wrong. Maybe. Oh. Okay, so that doesn't let you. Never mind. Maybe that's something we'll get later on. We can do that. So one of the things you can do when you beat a level, after you beat a level, is you can replay it and try to get the common. And you unlock the little commentaries through the level. And if you play games like Portal 2 or Half-Life, you'll notice that when you develop a commentary stuff, like there's like these little things all over the place that get the developers saying, the developer's gonna say something, in this area, and like, this table took us 9 hours to make, and it was very hard. Even though it's just a square and some other squares, for some reason this particular table, that's identical to all the other tables, gave us a really hard time getting it to work. We call it the table. And it's the worst thing we've ever had designed, but we put it in every game because why not? Okay, enough kind of bragging on developers. You know, I'm going to say I understand how hard it is to make a video game. I don't want to make developers that. I don't want anyone who's like an aspiring developer to like look at me and think I'm being a jackass or anything. Yeah, at least not for that. I mean, I want you to think I'm a jackass for other actual good reasons. But I always find like develop commentary and it's always weird like when you find something like something that looks like it was like super easy for them to do and it turns out that was like the hardest thing in the entire game for them to make. Yeah. Movement. This one might be another easy one to do the get all the bottles for. We're already halfway through the level. First checkpoint, or next checkpoint rather. I just noticed, much like with Metal Gear Solid, as long as you stand still, searchlights and such will not detect you. But the minute you start moving inside those lights, you're going to set off the alarms. And obviously the flimsy wooden... Oh, there's the... Oh, we gotta come back and 8 more bottles. To get the code thingy. Go through that room. That's the coins. In case you're wondering, later games do put more work to the coins than just giving you an extra life. But they also like, substantially change the game later on. Like in later sequels, games like substantially. Like, it doesn't actually. The gameplay itself ultimately goes unchanged, but they do make a lot of improvements. Okay. But wait, I think I see what we did wrong. I see at least something up here. So we gotta... There's a horseshoe. We're not gonna worry about the horseshoe right now. Okay, so we got 3 here. And put up. Nope. Oh, that's right. Okay. L1 and R1 will let you bring up your goggles, and you can look around with the left stick and zoom in with the right stick. Being that this is a game that's as old as it is, I wouldn't be surprised if I hope I didn't just get... Oh, wait, good. Great, now I'm stuck in... Oh, never mind. Oh! Oh my gosh. It's a secret passage door. Oh. I feel so silly now. Okay, so real quick, before we go any further, before we finish the level, we're going to go back and get that code. Because, you know, we went through all the effort of getting what you call it, getting the code bottles, might as well
Press
get
the
code.
circle to enter the vault code. With the help of a straight edge and compass, the answer was simple. Dial in 242.
There we go. One thing I want to mention too, these codes are randomly generated, so you can't just sit here and like
Interesting. Old
do
Sally
it
Cooper's
all day
fast
long.
getaway raccoon roll. Stories claim she can move faster rolling than anyone else could on the run. Hold down the triangle button to use this move. Switch between your power-ups using L2 and R2.
But also, you can't access the vaults without getting all 30 of the codes anyway, or all the codes in the room in the level anyway. So we got a new move. I'm going to test out here. Hold down the circle to roll. It's not very useful, so we're just going to keep dive. Dive is going to be much more useful for us than the roll. But anyway, we're going to grab that, and we are done with this level. Like I said, once we get a level, we can go back and do the time trial challenge for it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not a huge fan of time trials in games anyway. But yeah. However, I do think it is about time for us to end the episode off. We've been going on for a very long time. We did a lot of introductory stuff. The last thing I do want to say before we leave off is, for anyone who wants to play this game going in blind, I will warn you, there are some levels in the game where the gameplay is mixed up a bit and you're playing a different type of game, and they end up being really challenging. This was a game made back in the era of Blockbuster video rentals, and so one of the ways that they kept you from flat out renting the game, or rather they got you to re-rent the game over and over again, was to just constantly add in these really hard parts of the game where you have to like really be precise or really learn how to play this completely different section of the game that has nothing to do with the rest of the gameplay. This does get a little easier as the games go on, but this game definitely has some balls to it. That said, I did beat this game originally 100% over the course of a weekend. So, with all that said, I will see you guys later.